Good morning, guys. What's up? So, I have spoken about this a few times in the past, like on my social media, but I wanted to do a deep dive today on why I think that letting clients self-select out of working with you is actually a good thing. So, first, what do I mean by self-selecting? This is what happens when a client goes to your website or your social media or wherever you live online, and they can take a look at your voice, your portfolio, and get an idea of who you are, not only as a business or a solutions provider, but also a human being. The goal is to communicate both your work process, your work style, and your personality. And the client can immediately tell if you are a fit for them or not. So, to that end, letting clients self select out of working with you is actually a really cool way to brand yourself. And it saves both you and any potential clients a lot of time because you're ensuring that the fit is there before you even chat about the project or even working together. And on my end as a business owner, this is awesome because it means that I'm only working with clients who I jibe with, like they want my personality, they want my style of work. And it can also mean that there's less hassle later on down the line because everybody knows what they signed up for. We're all good with each other and it's just a lot cleaner. The problem though is that I guess maybe people aren't sure how to go about branding in an intentional way that like I don't want to say you're scaring people away, but you want to attract the right crowd. So this is about learning how to make content that attracts a very specific type of client to your business. And if you've attracted someone who maybe doesn't fit that profile, they can look at your content and immediately say, oh, yeah, this isn't for me. So, the first way to start self branding yourself is to write in your own individual voice, whether that's on your website or on your social media. And it's funny because, as a business owner, you're taught, oh, you have to be very, very professional and never curse and don't use emojis and don't be colloquial. But in 2020, that's not what it's going to take to make your business stand out. So, unless that's your personality, like you're naturally just a very private or reserved person, that's totally fine. You're going to attract a very specific kind of client who likes working with people like that. But that's not me. And I really had to get over that temptation to be very professional and very flat. And that is obviously not my personality. And I benefited a lot from that by changing the way that I talk about myself and my business. I've attracted people who want to work with someone like myself. The second way to help people self select is to tell stories. First of all, people just love listening to stories. We're naturally more interested in them, but it's also a great way to humanize yourself, right? To tell a story is to be more personal, more human. And it helps people peek beyond you as the solutions provider and see you as the human being. And I think that's really important if you want long-term client contracts. The third thing to consider is your surroundings. So video chats are pretty much the standard going forward. And as you can see, I have what my husband calls my power wall. And I really just jazzed it up so that way it was kind of more interesting when I was talking to people. And interestingly enough, it actually sometimes gives me things to talk about with people, like my love of cross stitch or cats or whatever. So it's worked out. So I did this not only to jazz up my meetings and to put on a more professional appearance, but it also shows off my personality, right? It jazzes stuff up. Whenever I talk to people, I log on and they see my video feed, they can tell immediately what my personality is like, what it's going to be like working with me, and I don't even have to open my mouth and they can get a pretty good feel. So that just helps people realize, oh yeah, maybe Kenzi isn't for me, or they'll say, hell yeah, I want to work with Kenzi. And the fourth thing, this sucks. So it's appearance. I try to have kind of a cool, quirky setup behind me, but then when it comes to my appearance, I try to be a bit more reserved. I briefly considered dyeing my hair pink just because I've never done it before and it sounded cool. But then I thought, like it or not, whether it's fair or not, tons of piercings, neck tattoos, crazy hair colors, it can make it harder to get business. Even though I like to work with fun personalities, I wonder if they would have a harder time working with me if I looked less professional. And I know it's definitely a debate. Obviously, people who have dyed hair and piercings are just as intelligent as people who do not. But we live in a world that cares about appearance, unfortunately. And so I try to keep it kind of buttoned up and classic. I jazz it up a little bit. I'm wearing a Thundercats shirt. I don't know if you can see it, but it's Snarf, my favorite character. So depending on the type of clients you want to attract, your physical appearance, whether it's fair or not, does attract a certain type of clientele. So when it comes to your personal branding on the internet, my vote is to be as loud as you want, as long as it attracts the right kind of people to your business, right? So when it comes to self-branding, it's not only about being authentic to who you are as a human, but it's also about attracting the type of people that you want to work with. So you've got to consider who I am and what I'm comfortable with, and who I want to work with and what they're comfortable with, and finding a happy medium between the two. But if you're self-employed, this is the fun of being self-employed. You get to be yourself. You don't have to be buttoned up. You're representing yourself, and at the end of the day, you know what shots to call. So embrace your uniqueness and take some risks, because you never know. It could start attracting awesome clients to your business and make it a lot easier to find people that you enjoy working with. So until next week, keep writing.